Hey everyone, it's Donna, and today I'm going to share with you how I can my potato soup that is corn-free. And I thought I would bring you along to show you the process I'm using today. Most people cook the soup before they ever can it. I do not. I like my potatoes to be in cubes. I don't want to cook the soup and then process it in a canner and have the potatoes turn into mush. So I've got my vegetables laid out here. I've got my spices and salt, and I have my lids in a hot water here, and I'm going to start getting the jars out. I'm heating up the chicken broth, which I will be using as the liquid in the soup. So let's get started. Okay. So I've had my jars sterilizing so that they would be good and ready. And they are hot. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get 6 jars out. And I hope that's going to be enough for what I'm doing today. And what I'll start out with is, first I better get my little funnel. And I'm going to start with the wide mouth here. And I'm going to put in some potatoes. Not a whole lot, a couple, 2 or 3 handfuls. Then I'm going to put in some celery, which I have chopped up even with the leaves. The leaves just give it such a good flavor. Then I'm going to do onions. And you can't see very good through this jar because it's the last of my amber colored ones that I did my potato soup in last week. So, and I want to pack it full enough that, and I don't know if you can see that, but I've got it all the way up to the top. I'm going to add a few more there. And I have that one done. And get started on the next one. I'm not sure how many quarts I'm going to get. Hopefully I can get 6 or 7, maybe a few more. Just depends. And I like to start out putting the potatoes in first, throwing in the celery and the onion, and then adding more potatoes on top. And I think that makes a good mix. I'm heating up my chicken broth, which is free-range chicken broth, and it's by Pacific Foods, which it's the only one that has organic chicken broth that does not have carrots. And carrots is another food I'm allergic to. So I have to be very careful when I want to buy chicken broth. If it's not Pacific Foods, I just don't get it. And I make my own. But that can be time consuming, so I was glad I was able to find it online and order it. Okay, so far we got 3 quarts. And I love potato soup. And when you put the butter and the cream in it, which I don't do canning it, that would go in when I open a jar and get it ready to cook. So, and I may not have put enough onions in there. So, take out a couple of those and put them over here. There we go. So far we got 4. And if I have any leftovers, maybe I'll make a pot for today. potatoes. It's really good. One of the things I do that a lot of people I've not seen do is I put dill weed in it. And dill weed in the soup just, it gives it a flavor that you just can't describe. So, not when it settled down to where I could add a few more. Okay. So we have 5 quarts. The chicken broth is heating up. And I need it to come to a boil before I can add it. And I think I'm going to get what I wanted to begin with, which was 7 quarts. So I think with one more jar I'll have what I want. Oh yeah. A few more. Okay. Lay that over there. Get another jar. And that will give me 7 quarts when I'm done. Might get another one, but I doubt it. Nah, we're just going to get 7 quarts. And then the rest of this celery that I don't use, I'm going to dehydrate it and put it away with the other celery I've dehydrated. It's going to get a few more onions. Just a little bit more of that. And I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of these potatoes as I can. Pull it over here and try to drain out a little bit of the water. Okay. Yep, I did it just right. I've got 7 quarts. I had the wrong burner on, so I had to change that out. That wasn't good. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this worked out beautifully. Maybe I'll just add a little bit more celery to some of them. Put that over there. So I'm going to have to use the funnel to put the liquid in. We'll see how this comes out. Nothing like good fresh potato soup on a cold day. And even though we don't have that many cold days where we live, there are some, and on those days I really like to have a good bowl of potato soup. My mom used to make it all the time, but she made it way different than the way I do it. I do it this way. She would just use the onions and potatoes. I make it with the celery, the chicken broth, and I like to use heavy cream in it because it really gives it a good flavor. So continue to put some more of that in there and stuff it down. Not a thing will be wasted. Oh yeah. Let's see about the onions. Onions are always a good part in the soup. And these are sweet onions, so they have a really good flavor. These jars all loaded. Oh yeah. Okay. So now I've got 7 quarts, which is what I was hoping to have. Put that back there, set these in there. Wipe up some of this mess. Then I will start putting my dill weed and the salt in. And I'm going to do about a half teaspoon of salt for each. I'm going to get the half teaspoon. I want to make sure I don't overdo it. So you can always re-salt your potato soup, but you cannot desalt it once you've put it in. So I'm going to use half teaspoon in each one. Whoops. Would help to put it in the jar, wouldn't it? That was a little bit over. Okay. Now I'm going to do almost a teaspoon of the dill weed. Actually, I think I probably should do a half teaspoon with it, because you don't want to overpower it. And using dill weed is good if you have, you're on a diet where you can't have salt, because it seasons just like a salt. So I thought I was going to need that other jar, but obviously not. Okay. Okay. So we have that done. Now I'm ready to start ladling in the water, or the broth. So I'm going to grab my, oh, there it is. Have to grab my ladle. Wasn't where I thought it was. And so I'm going to start ladling in the chicken broth. The amber jars, it's hard to see where the liquid is. Ah, ooh, now that wasn't fun. Be very careful when you're using hot liquid, because it can burn. Okay. I think it's a little too full, because I couldn't see how far I was going with it. I'll just grab a spoon and ladle a little bit of that out. So I don't want any siphoning when it's cooking or processing, is what I mean. Okay. Now I'm going to put my lid on, hand tight. Okay. Nope, I'm not going to put them in yet because I haven't added the water. Now my canner, I've got a Presto canner, and it's a 23 quart, and I just absolutely love it. And when you're processing in a pressure canner, this one in particular, you use 3 quarts of water, and that's all you need of hot water in it before you add your jars. Then once you get your jars added, then you I forgot to do something on that, so I'll do it with this one. I want to make sure there's no air pockets. Yeah, we're going to do this. This seems to work better. It used to be a pastry brush, but the brush part wore out. So what I did, I got to grab a rag, was cut the bristles off, and I use it to take the air out of my jars. And I don't know why I wasn't thinking. Okay, take that off, de-air that, make it, all the bubbles come out, and then I'll wipe it. which I didn't do. So I'm going to grab another one here and put it on there. Sometimes I don't like the way the rings feel when they go on the jar. So, okay. Now, fill this one. And we'll see how good it comes out. Okay. Now we'll get the air out of that one, and then I'll get the lid on after I wipe it. You really want to pack them in. You want to leave that head space there so that they can process properly. So see that? Look how pretty. Those are going to be gorgeous. Okay. Now I'll do my other one here. I'm hoping I have enough for all three, the 3 jars that are left as far as the broth goes. Okay. I just really want to work out the air bubbles. Okay. And we'll get another lid in there. Okay. Now I'll need to add some water. So it's cooling down a little bit. Okay. And I need to get 2 of those in there. So I was running out. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to add a little bit more chicken broth because I don't have enough for these other 2 jars. So I'll get it in there and let it boil up. That ought to be enough. Now I want to get the air out of this one. They're coming out. They look beautiful. I can't wait to see them when they're done later. Okay. I get kind of messy here when I'm canning. Thing about it is, I know what's in these, and they're perfectly safe. So you guys will have to try this and on your own. And you can even use the same recipe just to make a big pot of it at home. And with it, I usually make my faux cornbread. And so good. It's just so good. Oh, I'm going to need more. Okay. So it takes more in the quart than you think it does. Let that heat up a little bit. But look how gorgeous. I am so proud of these because I'm really getting a lot of foods packed away, either canned, dehydrated, or whatever for the winter, so that we are set as far as extra foods, because you never know what could happen day to day. So we're trying to stock up and make sure we have plenty that we need. So this is getting good and hot. So I'm going to add more. Just a little bit more. Okay. Now get the air out of this one. We got one more jar to fill and then we'll be done. Okay. That wiped down. Get the lid and ring for it. And you want them just hand tight. You don't want to over tighten them because they have to vent in the pressure canner. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to pick up the pan and pour in what I need. Ooh. And I think just a little bit of this hot water will help, because that was full strength chicken broth, and I usually always add water to it. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to de-air it. And I lose some stuff out of there when I do this, but it's all ready. Put the lid on. Okay, there you have it. I have 7 quarts ready for the canner, and my canner will hold 7 quarts, so I can get them all done at once and not have to worry about it. I will come back when they're all done and show you how beautiful they are. So I'll see you soon. Okay guys, as you can see, I've got my jars out of the canner. They are still boiling, but they're sealing up beautifully. Now I've got 7 beautiful quarts of potato soup to store away for winter. So I will have the recipe in the link or in the description below. And I hope you guys will try this recipe and put some away for yourself, or just make a big pot of it for your family. And it's all corn free. So please be sure and like and leave me a comment what you think. And I hope you'll subscribe if you have not. And then just hit that bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. So until next time guys, bye.